There's a version of this story where I'm sitting in that house right now. Upstairs, looking out the office window at the trees, filming this episode from inside the thing I spent years trying to build. If that had happened, I think I'd be telling the story differently. I'd probably be talking about perseverance, about what it means to stick with something when everyone else would have let it go. Every time I sat down to work or woke up in the morning would feel like a triumph of will and determination. But that's not how it turned out. I never moved in, and now I never will. So this is a different version of the story. It's one that's still unfolding, still unresolved, and it's a version I didn't ever want to tell. The idea took root several years ago, about 5 years into my new life in LA. One day, walking the Santa Monica beach, a new feeling of being here washed over me. It had been happening in small increments every year that I'd been here, but this was the deepest one yet. Right there, I decided to sell my house in Ireland and to buy one here. I had never expected to want to do that. LA was about fresh starts and not being tied down to old ideas and standards. My house in Ireland had always felt like somewhat of an anchor. Yes, it held me steady in rough times, but it also held me back from ever wandering too far. I didn't want to feel that way again, but houses had always loomed large in my family's lives. My dad had been in construction his whole life, and had helped me build the house that I lived in Ireland for 12 years. I didn't think I'd ever want to undertake that big of a project again, but after being priced out of the LA buying market, he encouraged me to build my own house here. Surprisingly, I agreed. How hard could it be? In fact, I embraced the hugeness of it all and the chance to build in one of LA's many beautiful canyons. Talk about putting roots down in my new city. I would actually be digging deep into the earth and installing new anchors to steady my life here. But would these anchors end up restricting me too? I had this vision of a space that would support the life that I wanted to live. A cabin-like home on a hillside overlooking a vast canyon. A treehouse-like writing room, a bath with a view, and decking for days. Away from freeway noise, but still close to the city. Birdsong in the morning and starlight at night. So I found the perfect lot. I hired an architect I vibed with, and we got to work designing the place that I wanted to one day call home. I loved that part of the process, imagining how I'd want to live in 3 to 5 years' time. I laid out imaginary hallways and bedrooms and bathrooms with a tape measure in my apartment, trying to feel the connection between rooms that didn't yet exist. I imagined the me who would live there, the screenplays I'd write, the friends I'd have over for movie nights, and maybe even the family that I'd raised there. I held that feeling for the first several months. This electric feeling of building a home from a hillside, of designing a future the younger me could only ever have dreamt of. But even then, if I'm being honest, something felt off. The location never fully sat right with me. The drive up to the lot always left a strange feeling in my chest. One I couldn't explain, but I also couldn't ignore. I told myself that kind of doubt was normal, that the idea of change after 6 years in the same apartment would naturally cause anxiety, and that the excitement of the new home would eventually override it. It didn't. That snaky feeling never fully left, but I kept on going anyway. By now I had sold my house in Ireland, and I had invested time, energy, and money that I didn't really have into the new one. I thought I was trading those things for a new beginning, but looking back now, it was more like slowly hollowing myself out for a version of the future I wasn't even sure I still believed in, or that I didn't fully deserve. A couple of years into the project, things way outside my control. The pandemic delaying the city's planning process, materials prices skyrocketing while the market dived. It forced me to admit a crushing truth. that my job isn't to build my home anymore. It's just to finish building this house. It no longer felt like a dream I was moving towards. It became a project I didn't know when or even if I could walk away from. I wasn't imagining my life inside it anymore. I was just trying to survive the process of completing it. I tried everything to make it work. Refinancing, cashing in other investments, scaling back on materials. Each sacrifice would give a brief burst of new hope, but the funds kept shrinking and the timeline kept stretching. And yet, I kept going. I think part of me believed that if I stopped, I'd be confirming something about myself that I didn't want to be true. That I don't follow through. That I dream big but can't execute. That I leave things unfinished. So I pushed through with stubborn belief, even when it no longer felt like it was mine. I still love so much about the house. I love the design, the detail, the way it sits on the hillside like a bird's nest. I love that I was part of taking an idea into something that exists in the real world now, even though I'll never get to live in it. But the truth is, the version of me who would have walked through that front door, well, he never arrived. The person I imagined making coffee in that kitchen, lounging on the deck in that canyon breeze, he doesn't exist. I turned out differently. For a long time, I thought I had to grow into the kind of person who would deserve that house. That if I worked hard enough, struggled long enough, held out and pushed on through, I'd eventually become someone worthy of it. Because somewhere in me, there's been this belief that if something doesn't hurt, that it's not real. That ease can't be trusted. That only the difficult path leads to something meaningful. And so I took on a challenge that was way bigger than I was equipped to handle at the time. But that belief has worn out. I don't think I needed to go through so much pain to become someone else. I think I needed to learn how to accept the person that I already was. And I don't think I'll make that mistake again. I still remember every detail I discussed and haggled over. The home theater, the bath placement, the skylights, the finishes I chose but will never use. It feels a bit like writing a symphony that I'll never hear, but one where I still know every note. I'm still in the middle of it. I'm still finishing the build, still working with contractors, still preparing to let it go. It hasn't ended yet. Not really, but the version of me who thought he'd lived there has already gone. The house wasn't wrong exactly. It just wasn't meant for who I turned out to be. And maybe the mistake wasn't in just what I built. It was in believing I had to become someone else to deserve it in the first place. And if anything in this video resonates with you, well, please leave a comment and let me know what. Have you gone through something like this? Mightn't have been a house, might have just been some project or relationship or big choice that you made that somewhere down the line it just looked like it wasn't going to work out the way that you had hoped. If so, please leave a comment and do share, like, and subscribe. It helps a lot. Okay, bye-bye.